Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning. Thank you all for joining our Veterans Day ceremony. We want to take this time today to thank and remember our fellow veterans. Without them, we would not have our freedoms and rights we do today. So please thank anyone you know that has generously served our country.
I ask that all of you please bow your heads and pray. Dear Lord, today we honor our veterans, worthy men and women who gave their best when they were called upon to serve and protect their country. We pray that you will bless them for their unselfish service to the continual struggle to preserve our freedoms, our safety, and our country's heritage for all of us. Bless them abundantly for their hardships they faced, for their sacrifices they made, for their many different contributions to American victories over tyranny and oppression. We respect them, we thank them, we honor them, we are proud of them. We pray that you will watch over these special people and bless them with peace and happiness. Amen.
I would like to introduce the high school band. They will be performing the Star Spangled Banner.
I would like to introduce our first guest speaker, Jean Smith.
Good morning, and thank you for allowing me to once again be a part of this very important celebration. You know, we're a little bit at war here in the United States with a virus called COVID, but we are Americans, and we will win this war, and we will persevere. I'd like to talk about two young men and their perseverance and how they made a difference. Imagine you're a high school student from Massachusetts, and you're in Tel Aviv with your dad in the middle of a busy intersection at 11 o'clock in the morning, and suddenly a siren goes off. Everyone stops, and time stands still. And you don't know what to think, because this is Israel. And when sirens go off, that usually means the enemy is coming in. But everybody remains calm, some are even prayerful, and after 2 minutes, they get back in their cars and they go their merry way. We have to find out what's going on. Like the United States, Israel has a Memorial Day, a day set aside to thank veterans for preserving their independence. Yom HaZikaron is the day right after their Independence Day. It starts the night before at 8 p.m. when the Jewish calendar says that's when day begins, and it lasts for 24 hours. The first siren goes off at 8 p.m. to remind citizens of this special day, and the next siren goes off at 11 a.m. to solve minutes. When Daniel returned home, he told his brother Michael what he had witnessed, and Michael said, well, why isn't the United States doing this for our veterans? Don't they deserve this moment of silence? And so together the two men set out to make it happen. One would think that observing Veterans Day with 2 minutes of silence would be easy. I mean, come on, it's just 7 time zones. What could possibly go wrong? Who would possibly object? Well, they found out that they had to start with a resolution in Congress. And so they met with their congressman in 2012, Barney Frank, who proudly sponsored the legislation. They also asked Scott Brown from the Senate to join in on the sponsorship, and the bill began in the Senate. It passed with no objection, and it lay for the floor of the House to be passed. But time ran out, and the bill died before the end of the 2012 session. Unfortunately, both Barney Frank and Scott Brown did not return to Congress, and many thought the brothers' efforts were in vain. These brothers would not give up. Starting over, they garnered the support of Stephen Lynch, another Massachusetts congressman, and to ensure passage, they garnered the support of both Senator Dick Durbin and Mark Kirk, powerful forces in the Senate. They knew it wouldn't fail this time, but unfortunately, time ran out. Well, the determined brothers once again went back to Congress to get this legislation passed. They knocked on doors and got dozens of congressmen from both chambers to sign on to the legislation, and on October 7, 2016, the bill was signed into law. Veterans Day is important to all of us, and the Veterans Day Moment of Silent Act calls for 2 minutes of silence throughout the United States and Puerto Rico at precisely 2:11 p.m. Today, we will celebrate that 2-minute moment of silence. We know our military is the best in the world because our men and women have the grit, perseverance, and determination to accomplish their mission, no matter the cost. They love this country so much they're willing to give up their life for it. We have the greatest freedoms in the world thanks to these men and women. These unsung heroes give us the right to chart our own destiny and to achieve our dreams. Like our military, the Venison brothers love our country. Daniel and Michael wanted our Americans to show their gratitude to the military by remaining silent for 2 minutes, 1 day a year. Throughout their perseverance, the Venison brothers accomplished their mission. Today, at 2:11 p.m., let us stand in silence and in our hearts thank the men and women who gave us the right to live in the greatest country in the world. Let us remember the determination and the perseverance of these 2 young men, a high school student and a college student, who accomplished their American dream. And let us also reflect on the fact that each and every one of us have the power to accomplish anything that we want, to achieve our American dream, because we live in the United States of America. Thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of this celebration. Thanks to the men and women who were listening that have fought or continue to fight and serve in our country. From the bottom of my heart, thank you so much.
like to introduce my dad, Sergeant Adam Gage.
Thank you, Haley. Thank you, faculty, students, family, and friends. It's an honor for me to stand here today in front of you all, being an alumni here at Fayetteville. I graduated in 2001, and within that time frame, I had to make a decision on what I wanted to do in my life. Some wanted to go straight to the career field or make a difference. I chose back in April 2001 to serve my country. Right during that time, 2001 was a hard year for the country. September 11th happened, and we saw a massive increase of citizens wanting to join the military. I left in November 2001 to basic training. Graduated basic training, returned back home to Ohio, and served in the National Guard for 3 years as a recruiter. At that time, I reached the point where I realized I wanted to do more of my life. I decided to go active duty sent to Fort Benning, Georgia, where I served for 5 years with the 36th Engineer Company, which was attached to the Ranger Battalions and Special Forces in 3rd Iraqi. I meet several challenges in my life with being in the military. Away from my family, away from my friends' family, away from my hometown here in Fayetteville. It was a struggle. I made a lot of friends over the way that I'll never forget. 2008, I made the decision to move closer to home. I took a position in Fort Campbell, Kentucky with the 101st Airborne Division, the most distinguished unit within the Army. Within 3 months, I was deployed to Afghanistan. One of the toughest times I had to do. Sorry. I left my family, I left my home. But I did it for a reason. For everyone who is watching today. I love this country. I love everything we stand for. There are men and women I follow who never made it back. So when I think of Veterans Day, it is a day just not for myself, but for the men and women who came before me. The ones who gave their lives, who put forth their careers in sports, their college, anything, the ambitions they had to serve a purpose. As Ms. Shad said, we do live in the greatest country in the world. We have the greatest military force. Air Force, Army, Marines, Coast Guard, Navy. Everyone takes the oath. Everyone does it for a reason. And it's this country. We want to be able to give you your freedom. We want to make this country the best. And we will still to this day. With the leadership change that we have in this election, it does not change our beliefs. It does not change what we believe in our hearts. We will succeed with anything put in front of us. COVID-19, terrorists, difference in beliefs, difference in discussions. So for me today, Veterans Day is just more of a day to say thank you to veterans. It's a day for us to remember who came before us and who will come after us. When you leave today to school, when you walk out these doors, when you go up to Kylie's first stop in town, you see somebody who wears a hat that says veterans. Shake their hand, tell them thank you. Take a minute and listen to their stories. Because they are our past, they are our history books. They can tell you what they've seen, what they were, what they've done. And sometimes just that little gesture goes a long way with the veterans. I did not see myself standing here back in 2001 when me and Mr. Collier were students here at the same time. I never expected to to be called a veteran, be in a very distinguished category with a lot of other people that came before me. It is an honor. And again, I would like to thank you for allowing me to speak to you guys today. And as always, go Rockets.
At this time, I would like to introduce VFW Commander Joe Peter.
This is probably, quite a few years I've been here at the assembly. And I'm a 1959 graduate of Fayetteville High School. I'm also an Eagle Scout, which helped me in my career as in the Air Force and also in my civilian life. I did a lot of research. I'm one of the very few people in this area that knows some of the history of the county, of the Fayetteville-Perry Township. And also, I keep track of all the veterans that are buried here in Perry Township. There's close to 500 veterans. Some of them are highly decorated, and some of them you don't know. I have one graduate that I graduated with from the school that was killed in Vietnam. And he was also a Boy Scout. So I helped him with his career as a paramedic or a medic in the Navy. And I spent a lot of time helping the school remember him, for he was the only graduate from Fayetteville High School that was killed in Vietnam. Of the other people that died that were at Vietnam, died here in the States, not in Vietnam. And I spent a lot of time going through a lot of the cemeteries, finding the veterans. And the youngest veteran that I found was a Civil War veteran who was 14 years old. And he is buried in back of St. Patrick's Church, or St. Angela Marie Church here in Fayetteville. And I am in the process of writing down some of the history that was not published in the Sesquicentennial book. There's a lot of stuff that's in there that I can remember, but the main reason why I've been doing a lot of history, I have a state ranking of 107 in state in history. That's when they did the test. And I recently lost my brother. Who I had for 30 years, and he was a Down syndrome. So I have a lot of interest in the development disabilities people, and I did a lot of, I was on the village council. I belonged to the VFW as a commander, which I've had since 2000. I also belong to the DAD and the American Legion. There are all the veteran organizations that I belong to. I also am a member of the fraternal organization. One's here, one's in Vermont County. So, you people, your students can remember that in order to achieve, you gotta put out the effort to help other people. If you don't help other people, you're having a lot of hard times. And I am one of the few that I was in special forces in the Air Force. I was in guerrilla warfare with the Air Commandos. And one of the airplanes that I actually flown on is sitting at Wright-Patterson's Air Force Museum as I speak. And I was glad that I was able to see it and remember that I did fly on it when I was stationed in Panama, but I went to the Dominican Republic during the Dominican crisis. That's how I got into the VFW. So, also remember the POW MIA that are still active today. I thank you.
I'm just trying to be a father, raise a daughter and a son, be a lover to their mother, everything to everyone, up and down, bright and early, all business and lesson. Yeah, I'm dressed up horses, my head down to my boots. I don't do it all money, there's bills that I can't pay. I don't do it for glory, I just do it anyway. Nobody over my futures, my responsibility. Yeah, I'm really under pressure, being all that I can be. I can't call it sick on Monday, it's been too strong. I just want to stay through the holidays, sometimes all night long. And let us stand ready when the wolf growls at the door. The outside, the outset, the true down to the core. And I will always not be ready, no matter what the price. I'm counting up the cost. I know the sacrifice. Oh, I don't want to die for you, but a dying's asking me. I'm there in cost with honor. It's freedom, no call free. I'm an American soldier and I'm American. Beside my brothers and my sisters, I will proud and never stand. With liberties and liberty, I will always do what's right. Tomorrow things were gone, work for all my life. And I had to start again, just my children and my wife. Thank my lucky stars to be living here today. Cause the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, and I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave their life to me. And that is next to you, and it's personal today. Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. From the days of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea, Detroit down to Houston, and New York to the moon. Let's try to live the American heart, and it's time to say the same. I'm proud to be an American, but at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave their life to me. And I'm glad we stand up to you in person today. Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. And I'm proud to be an American, when at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave their life to me. And I'm glad we stand up to you in person today. with. It's been dry, but they're calling for rain. Everything's the same old same. Johnson Lee. Your stubborn old daddy ain't said too much, but I'm sure you know he sings his love. And she goes on in a letter from home. I hold it up to show my buddies like we ain't scared of saying, but again, they're alright. Like a soul to the funny like the way I talk. When I say mama said to this y'all, I hold it and put it in my shirt. Pick up my gun and get back to work.
I would like to introduce J.D. Brewer and Kyle Melton performing taps. Today we honor those who came before us and sacrificed their greatest gift of their lives. We are blessed to live in the greatest country in the world, and we owe that to the men and women who serve our nation every day. As we close out this year's Veterans Day ceremony, let us pray. Dear Lord, today we honor our veterans, the men and women who gave up their best when they were called to serve our country. We pray that you bless them for their unselfish service and continuous battle to preserve our nation's freedoms. Thank you for giving up this day to remember those who serve the country. Amen.
As we conclude and bring to a close of the Veterans Day program for 2020, I'd like to thank our visitors and speakers today. Good job. Good job. We appreciate you being here and speaking for us. Thank you for taking your time to share your words and your wisdom with us. This ceremony is planned and conducted by very capable students of Fayetteville High School. So I'd like to say thank you to the band members, Mrs. St. Clair, for their great performance, and to the student council, sponsor Ms. Dawson for their planning and leadership. Today's ceremony, as you know, is a blend of in-person guests and speakers and an online audience. The Fayetteville students and staff are watching from their classrooms. The parents and members of the community are part of the online audience at home as well. We thank you for joining us today. Thanks to the technology department for their support. I have to say, though, I would be amiss if the greatest heartfelt thank you was not for our veterans. These are people of great courage, with the willingness to put everything aside and put everything on the line to defend our country, our freedom, and our home. On behalf of the entire Fayetteville school community, thank you to all the veterans serving now and in the past. Honoring you for the sacrifices you have made for our country in the name of freedom and democracy is what Veterans Day is all about. So thank you. We honor you, each and every one. Thank you for watching. Thank you for attending, and that brings to a close our Veterans Day program for this year. Thank you very much.